I'm going to focus on a little of the basics of color matching. And I'm choosing to try a Saddle Brown Expressions that is a two-tone vinyl. It's got a darker print. So in order to actually match that dead on, I have to make two colors and kind of blend or model them. Always start with a lighter color. And there's not a lot of white in this color. There's a whole lot of yellow and red. In other words, orange. So orange and black by itself would give you brown. The yellow is how I'm going to lighten this. I'm going to try not to use white here, because when you introduce black and white in the same mix, it immediately goes to gray. So there's a lot of times I will lighten with yellow. So here I put in too much black with my yellow and shifted it toward a green. So I'm going to take half that mix, pour it off so I don't use too much paint. And I'm going to come back, and in order to compensate for putting in too much black, I'll do orange and more yellow. This yellow I'm using is called iron oxide yellow. It's more toward a gold tone. I prefer to use it on more flat, subdued colors. The other yellow, the chrome yellow, I tend to use more with blue to make my greens. So out of these two colors, I'm closer to the darker print, if you can catch the detail in that two colors. So I'm going to use this little folding mouth atomizer to just spot color or blow a little bit of paint on. Too much yellow, we're still on the green side. So I'm going to go to more orange and a drop of red violet here, just a few drops. Just shift it away from the yellow, back toward the red. A shot glass is good for a mixer, just because you can see what's going on in there. When you set it down, it doesn't tip over. So that red shifted it a little closer to what I wanted. Now, in order to really tell what that color looks like, because this is a water-based paint system for leather and vinyl, you have to dry it. It will darken slightly when it dries. In this case, maybe darken slightly too much. A little too dark. So how am I going to lighten that? If the yellow made it too green, then I'm going to lighten it with the orange. So right here is where I am. And what I've caught is the darker speckles in this two-tone color. This piece of vinyl is already fairly warm. That's going to dry quickly. And now I want to get the light version. So I can pour off the paint that I didn't want, that was too yellow. And I can take half of that mix and lighten it. Some yellow, some orange, and at this point a little bit of water would be a really good idea. When you're doing a two-tone, if one of your colors is a little weaker or watered down deliberately, it tends to create that speckle effect a little better. When I spray it on, I want it to look visibly lighter because it will dry darker. I'm going to stay with this yellow. Again, I'm trying to lighten without white so that I don't introduce gray into my mix. That's closer. It's lighter. One little word of caution. Don't try to match the color anywhere near where you're actually doing the repair. Match the color on the other side of the seat. And be aware of what soiling and wear have done to your color, because you might be darker on one side of the seat than the other just from the way it's wearing, or what sunlight and fading has done. So I am pretty happy with this match right here. I'm going to make one adjustment. I'm going to go lighter. And I'm going to put in a little drop of red again. The color was a little too muddy. It wasn't quite pure enough. Another tip on the color matching is lighting is everything. When you're indoors and you don't have a pure light like daylight, you're definitely handicapped. A lot of times I'll take this color test outside to see where I really am. Also, there's a little full spectrum light you can get, I believe, from a fabric or sewing store. It's called an OT lamp, and it replicates inside daylight, and that is critical for color matching. If you keep this moving as you spray, you can blend your match. So I'm not sure if you can pick up all that I got here. That was too yellow. That was too red. I introduced more yellow and orange and got to where I wanted to be.